Hi there and welcome back. So Wayne's doing the demo today and he's going to use this beautiful mould. Now, not necessarily Christmas themed, but would make an ideal Christmas present for somebody. Or why not just something for yourself? The mould, hopefully you've been able to make out what's in that mould. So some lovely birds, not sure what kinds or breeds or types. Let us know in the comments if you recognised any of them. Also going to be using some UV resin and these beautifully coloured acrylic inks. Get my facts right. Beautiful cobalt blue, a very warm egg yolky orange, red. So we're just showing you all the colours currently. Obviously, I know you can see which colours. Lemon yellow. And then some more coming. Beautiful emerald green, or forest green, I think some people might call that. A violet. Now, I wouldn't have said that was violet, but violet. A brown. We got more coming. Oh, here you go. Another type of yellow. This is a much warmer yellow. And apparently that's pink, but that looks mauve to me. So we will see what these colours... I mean, look at the beautiful green. All he's done is he's decanted some UV resin into these little mixing cups. Now these, yes, we're aware of the fact these are plastic and a single use, but we do clean them out and we do use them again. And we'd normally use the silicone ones made from silicone, but we've had a bit of a tidy up. I think I've said this in previous videos, and we can't locate them currently, but never mind, moving on. So you can see he's just mixed it in. Now it's coloured the resin, but it's still see-through, so it's translucent still. And all he's used there is a coffee stirring stick. So you've probably all been to the, coffee shop, Starbucks, Costa's, all that sort of thing, seen these wooden coffee sticks. So we actually ordered a supply of them from Amazon, I think it was, or you can sometimes pick them up in local shops and things. And he's then mixed the colour, the lovely alcohol. Oh, I keep saying alcohol. Acrylic, sorry, my apologies. Acrylic ink in with the UV resin using the coffee stir stick, and then used a micro brush to apply it from the little container onto the mould itself, then cured it with a UV light. Now he repeated that for all of the rest of the leaves that are in this mould, and then mixed up the brown. Again, the brown it's a bit, I want to say murky, but that's not a very nice description, is it? It's a bit like, well, have you ever had gravy that's not quite there? For roast dinner. I don't know. Honestly, Laura, where are you going with this? Is it because I'm feeling hungry? Possibly. But he's outlining the veins in the leaves using this washed out brown colour. Let's call it that, washed out brown rather than murky looking gravy. Honestly, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Maybe somebody else needs to do the voiceover. So anyway, so he's just loading it up onto these micro brushes, which are a really, I mean, if ever I could recommend getting something, it would be to get these micro brushes. They're great for applying colour in resin, applying resin to detailed parts in moulds like Wayne's used it for, and also for clearing up, as he's doing there, where you don't want resin to be. But he's obviously using here the UV torch there just to cure it. And then what we did is, once he did everything in this mould, because there's quite a lot of detail in this mould, there is some repetition, there are quite a few bits in the video that are sped up, but if we didn't do that, then this video would literally be an hour and a half in length. There's a lot of detail to it, but you've seen the technique now that he's using. He repeats the technique, uses the different colours, and then there's another bit at the end. Look at that beautiful colour yellow. Now that is what I would describe as an organic egg yolk yellow. Do you remember how egg yolks used to be, the colours, that beautiful warm yellow? Anyway, and then so he's applying it to it looks like to the beak of this bird. Now, don't forget, we've employed a bit of poetic and artistic license here with these birds. Now you could look them up and you could find out what they actually are, or as close as you can, and you could do it true to life with their actual colours that they would have in the real world. But This is in the world that is the brain, the artistic brain of Wayne. And he wanted to, you know, show off these colours, show what they look like all together. And there is an artist called Clarice Clift. Some of you may have heard of her. She did a lot of painting on pottery back in the, I want to say, 1930s to the 1950s, I think, sort of style. It's a particular type of style, and a lot of these colours are very much like that. Not exactly the same, but it just reminded me of it. It's more evident to me the further we go along in this video. You might see what I mean. If you know Clarice Clift and her colours that she uses, and it's like blocks of colours and so on, and the style that she had of decorating pottery. I can't remember which pottery house it was in the UK that she worked for, but anyway, maybe something to Google later. But yeah, so he's just literally repeating the process. He is dipping the microbrush. Now on the end of that microbrush, it's not little bristles, it's foam. Now, we have found the foam does sometimes come off, and then it's even better because you've got a lovely little tool with a little pointy end on it that you can pop micro bubbles with that come up to the surface of any resin projects that you're doing. So it's all, you know, it's, as I said, it's a very useful tool to have. They're really cheap to buy, and you can get them from Amazon, you can get them from Temu. I'm not sure about any other crafting websites, but certainly we've purchased these. I think these are from Amazon that we got, and we got them some time ago. They last us for like ages, forever. But yeah, very, very good. Don't forget, everything that we've used in today's video will be linked in the description box below. You can also see that Wayne isn't actually wearing gloves. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't wear gloves. You can wear gloves by all means. If I was doing this, I'd be wearing gloves. You do need to make sure that you are following all the right precautions, PPE-wise, when using resin, particularly epoxy resin. But Wayne's hands were going nowhere near the actual resin itself. What he's doing here is he's just curing the bits that he's done there with a UV torch, and as I said, afterwards he did put it underneath the UV lamp that we've got, which is bigger, for about 5 minutes. And look at this red. Now this is the red, I think this is the red and not the pink, but he's got looks like a little Christmas hat on the top of that bird. So yeah, it could be here that you've got a sparrow, maybe you've got a hummingbird, maybe you've got a jay, I think, or a jackdaw. But yeah, I mean, obviously Wayne's opted to make it nice and colourful. Now, what he told me was he was trying to emulate a piece of stained glass. And this mould does really lend itself to that kind of effect. And you'll see a bit more what I mean later on as this progresses. But it's got lots of lovely little sections that have got a slightly raised part in the mould. This mould is made from silicone, so it's absolutely fine for UV resin, ordinary epoxy resin, and also absolutely fine for any kinds of eco resin. So if you just wanted to do, not colour it in like this, and you wanted to pour an eco resin into it, maybe you want to do it white, maybe you wanted, I would do it white actually, or just pour it in. Most eco resins when they cure are white, some of them are slightly off-white, and then demold it and then actually paint. Now you could use acrylic paints to then paint onto the all inside the outlines, the colours, the beautiful colours of these birds, or as I said, do it true to nature and do it those colours or direct onto the eco resin. Now don't forget, once you've demolded eco resin, any pieces that you do, let them dry overnight, then go back and if you're going to paint them, seal it first and follow the manufacturer's instructions regards to sealing it, because if you don't, it's just going to soak in all that paint and it'll fade, and then you'll have to keep doing it and keep doing it. So seal it first, then paint it, and then if you want to put a clear coat of resin all over the top just to seal in your acrylic painting, then by all means do. I'd highly recommend that. So Wayne's applied the purple. So what colours has he done? He's done the beautiful green, he's done the brown, he's done the egg yolk yellow, he's done the paler yellow, he's done that sort of red, I'm going to call it reddish pink, He's done a beautiful, I think they call that violet, but I'd call it mauve. And now he's going in with this cobalt blue. Blue, my favourite colour, all-time favourite colour, blue. What's your favourite colour? Why not let us know in the comments. What would you do with this mould? Would you follow the idea of what Wayne's done? Or would you try and go true to colour, true to nature with the colours? Or would you employ the artistic licence like he's done here? Well, would you look at this mould and think, no, way too much detail, too much hard work, too much work here? Or maybe, like I said, you could do it in a solid block colour. You could demold it. You could then go in the outlines, because there are outlines to these sections, with perhaps a gold deco colour pen. If you've got the very fine tipped or nibbed pen, you could go and draw on all the outlines, and that would look just as stunning. You could be asking for more hard work with what I'm about to suggest. You could actually take a very fine brush and then brush in metallic powder into all these lovely different sections with golds and the silver and bronze and copper colours. You could also do that same thing with mica powders. Now, you probably have quite a lot of a big clean-up job if you decided to do that. So have the isopropyl alcohol and the kitchen towel ready. Paper towel ready if you're going to do it that way. So yes, there's lots of different things you can do with this mould. Now, there has got two little holes for hanging loop, which create hanging loops, and you can you can hang it up in a window. The idea is that the light comes through it, so it's a bit like a sun catcher sort of ornament. If you didn't want to hang it up like that in a window, then you could always mount it into a box frame, or make it part of a bigger picture. Perhaps you are really talented when it comes to painting, so you could paint a background for it and actually then secure this onto the picture itself in a box frame. That would look beautiful. That would look really stunning. Very, effectively, that would be a very, very nice gift to give to somebody. So yeah, so not so much, this isn't really a Christmas decoration, although you could do it as a Christmas decoration. You could use traditional Christmas colours for the birds in this picture. Your red, gold and green. So they could all have their little Christmas outfits on. And then you could incorporate it into a garland or wreath. It's really, to be honest, it's not just a one-hit thing or a one-hit wonder with this mould. There's lots of different things that you could do with it, lots of different effects and things that you can create with it. So lots of uses. Now, this mould is from, I want to say, InterResin, but you may actually be able to get it on Temu as well. I'm sure if you search for it, you'll be able to get it, this mould, or if not, something very, very similar even to this. And yeah. But it was very reasonable, and it really caught our eye when we saw it. So we thought, no, we've got to get that one. It's not from our recent Temu haul or the mega Temu haul that came out a couple of days ago. If you haven't seen that, or you haven't seen our previous videos for Temu hauls, why not check out our playlist and have a look? Take a look. We don't get the most recent one that we've, or couple I think that we've done, haven't been sponsored by Temu. It's just where we've decided to treat ourselves and gone down that rabbit hole of looking at the Temu website, which is always a bit lethal for us, and thought, do you know what, let's treat ourselves to some new molds, which is what we've done. And the molds on the whole that we've had, all the molds that we've had from Temu have been of really good quality. They obviously aren't going to last if you're going to do, it's not the kind of mold that you would buy if you want to make, 30 or 40 of something. That's not to say it wouldn't necessarily last, because we've not made 30 or 40 of something using one of their molds, but most of them are made of good quality silicone. They're either flat like this one is, so curing isn't an issue, or if it's a pot or it's something that needs to have like support built in to it, then they are usually very well constructed in that way. But yeah, as I said, check out our most recent mega Temu haul and see what we bought. We don't have a discount coupon for Temu currently. But the Temu website and app is really heavily discounted anyway, and quite often once you've bought once from them, they will continue to pester you, I'm afraid. They're marketing people with all kinds of offers and so on, as additional money off or coupons and what have you. But the codes for the moulds that we bought will be in the description of that video. We do, however, have a discount code for 10% off with BB Craft. And that's currently 10% off. It's Lottie 10 from memory. It is Lottie 10. You quote when you go to checkout. It'll give you 10% off the total cost of your order. And that is actually valid, that one. So you can use it as many times as you want up until, I think it's middle of September next year. So that one lasts for quite a long time. BB Craft, again, very, very similar to Temu. It's mainly crafting. I haven't seen anything in the way of clothing or household items that you can buy from there. So if you're into jewellery making or making things with resin or polymer clay or any other kind of crafting, that's well worth checking out their website too. So here we are. So here's Wayne after I've been doing all that waffling. Sorry about that. Feel free to, press the mute button. If you're fed up of listening to me. And yeah, just sit back, relax and watch Wayne, creating this beautiful masterpiece of his. Lovely deep orange colour there. Reminds me of pumpkins. So we didn't do a lot for Halloween. It's not necessarily a big thing in certain parts of the UK, not like it is in America and maybe in other countries, but we did a couple of videos, I think, for Halloween style makes. The Skull Brothers, I think we called them originally. That was a collaboration that we did with a lot of other artists. That's worth a watch, definitely. We did the See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, Skulls. Very well decorated, again by Wayne, very detail oriented, a bit like this piece is here that he's doing. He's got a lot more patience than me, a lot more patience than I have, but yeah, so why not check out that video, watch that, let us know what you think. Yeah, I'm well aware of the fact obviously that Halloween has been and gone, and now of course we're moving ever quicker towards Christmas. Yes, the C word, Christmas. We have already started doing our Christmas videos or Christmas inspired videos. Just taking a little break from it today with this one, which we're hoping you're enjoying. But yeah, so not necessarily just decorations, maybe gift ideas, which is what this one would come under, I suppose. But yeah, just fancied a bit of a break before we go into the next one. The next two videos after this, though, are Christmas themed. So that's just something to bear in mind. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, then why not subscribe to our channel? It's free to do so. Hit the notification bell and you will be informed of when we upload videos. Usually 3 times a week at 5 p.m. On a Wednesday, a Friday and a Sunday. So that's 5 p.m. UK time. Look at this colour. Now this is definitely a bit of me. I do like blue, but I do also like this colour. I think I really like these colours as well because it's not a solid opaque colour. It is still quite translucent. Yeah, I can see all kinds of things being made using this colour. Maybe some earrings. That'd be nice. In the shape of shells or something. It'd be lovely. Dusted with a bit of chrome powder. Yeah, this is the problem, you see. I don't know if anybody else is like this. I have a lot of ideas, and to be honest with you, I probably need to write them down. And then, you go to your little Bible book of ideas, a little Bible of ideas, perhaps. Does anybody who's listening or watching, does anybody actually do that? Or do you just literally think to yourself, right, I'm going to make something. I know what I'm going to make. I'm going to do this. Are you organised like that? Are you able to do it? Or are you somebody that actually carries a little notebook or journal or little sketch pad around with them, and when you get an idea you sketch the idea or perhaps write it down? But yeah. Anyway, I think that really is enough for me waffling on. But this, as you can see, he's almost finished now with applying the colour to these lovely birds. And yeah, definitely a Clarice Clift-like effect he's got there. I think it's the colours. Excuse me. So, he's fully cured it. And he did that by putting it underneath the lamp. We didn't show you that with the UV because you don't really need to see that. So for about 5 minutes under the UV lamp, and so it's completely cured all of that UV resin. Now he's mixed up some clear regular epoxy resin. The brand that we're using currently, which is our choice of brand, when again we're not sponsored, we do buy all these things ourselves, is Tea Expert. Obviously you use your own brand of choice. This particular brand is a 1-to-1 mixing ratio, so it's really easy. So it's if you're going to do 200 mils in total, it's 100 mils part A, 100 mils part B. Stir it slowly and steadily for 5 minutes. Leave it for a couple of minutes for all the bubbles to come up to the surface and degas. Sorry, excuse me. And then pour it into your, if you're going to add things to it, add things to it. If not, then just pour it. So again, just pouring it steadily and slowly into the mould, making sure that it comes up to the surface of the mould, of the top of the mould there. So it's covering it all. And it looks like he's got hardly any bubbles in there. I mean, there might be a few micro bubbles in there, but they should disperse. Now, we do tend to spray our pieces before they start curing with isopropyl alcohol. So give it a couple of spritzes of that and it dissipates. It encourages all the bubbles to pop. And then if you want to, you can go just around the very edge of the mould with a micro brush, getting rid of any little bubbles that may have got stuck. And there's a sneaky peek there of what he might have used some leftover resin for. So this is 24 hours later. It's completely cured. And we're just going to demould now. So just carefully pull the mould away from your project, not your project away from the mould. Go a bit careful here. Now this is just over, I would say, 0.5 centimetre in depth. Yeah. So also make sure the resin that you're going to use, like we use the Tea Expert resin, is suitable for pouring to that depth. Just poured it away from the mould. It's come away nice and clean there. Great. No clean up job there. Now that is it out of the mould. Now you turn it over. This is the right way round. It looks beautiful. Now you could just leave it like that. Or as Wayne's doing here, he's just pointing to these little sections, these little divider lines, which is where if it was a leaded light window or a stained glass window is where the lead would be, or the lead equivalent would be. But here we are. This is what he made using the leftover resin. These really cute little birds. And of course he had some of the alcohol, some of the acrylic ink left as well. So he poured it into the moulds what he had, cured it using the UV torch, and then poured in the leftover clear resin. Now, this is Wayne using a very fine tipped brush. These are actually for nail art. Now, these did come from our most recent haul from Temu. Very cheap, but very good. And so far, actually quite good indeed. Now, depending on how confident you feel about using these kinds of brushes, you could, if you didn't want to use it, just use a fine-tipped acrylic paint pen. But Wayne is, what you can't see he's actually using some, it's like a dark pewter grey metallic paint. So he's dipping the edge of, he's dipping the brush in it. And sorry, we just sped this bit up because it's quite a lengthy process and you didn't need to watch it for 10 minutes. Anyway, so that's what he's done here. And all he's doing is just going in where that little, that was a bit quick there, I suppose. It's just going in the little divide section there, which is slightly recessed from the top of this piece. And then he's just wiping away any of the excess paint. Now, because it is an acrylic paint, it is water-based, so it's quite easy to remove it whilst it's still wet. There we go. So he's just literally creating like the leaded light look. Now, if you don't like this, then obviously don't do it. If you don't want to use the black or grey coloured, then why not use the silver? Why not use gold? Depending on what you've got. As long as it's got a fine enough nib to it, then I would say use it. But he wanted to go for like the equivalent of a stained glass window. So he did that throughout the whole of the piece, and here you can see it in its finished state. And all he's done is put some gold coloured cord through so that you can see obviously what you could do with actually hanging it. So here we go. I mean, this looks beautiful. He's just going to bring it up a little bit closer to camera. Sorry, there's a bit of wobble going on now. Hopefully you can see the effect there. So really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a share, why not comment? And hi to everybody who joined us in for the premiere and the live chat. Hi to everybody else as well. And we'll see you again soon in a couple of days with another video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.